I'm here in the quarantine area of Island Aquatics, and I'm here with Gerald Thom. Hi, Gerald.
Hi, Gord.
You've got some really neat, or I should say beautiful, Japanese koi. What makes the Japanese koi better than maybe a standard koi?
Well, they sort of originated the breeding program, Gord, and over the last 1,000 years, they, like horses and dogs, they've interbred and defined the different strains of koi to develop these wonderful colors and patterns that we see today.
Yeah, they really are magnificent. Now, I did a little reading, and I understand there's 13 classifications of koi. Could you explain sort of what they are, or maybe not all of them, but
right.
Certainly what we have here?
Yeah, the classifications are based on color and pattern primarily. There's a number of different varieties, like the Kohaku is a white base koi with red patches.
Oh, okay.
The Sanke also has a white base, but has both red and black patches on it.
Okay.
There's doitsu koi, which are scaleless.
No scales?
That's a variety of koi, right?
Really?
And you can have a doitsu Kohaku, for example. So it can get a little bit complicated.
I know, you've lost me already. You know, when we look at the classifications, imagine that you mentioned the colors, but the pattern differences, I guess, is important.
Not so much for the classifications, but for the quality.
Oh, okay.
Color and pattern provides quality.
Okay.
You want the fish to look balanced from above, because they're made to be looked at from above. You want good definition between the colors, and you don't want the colors bleeding from one to another.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe you could point out what, in your expert opinion, was a beautiful koi or a very good-looking koi, and maybe one that wasn't as good, still very nice. I know we're really looking at better and best here, not so much good and bad.
Right. Well, maybe what we could do is start off with some of the more common varieties, like the Kohaku.
Okay.
And I could explain what I mean about colors bleeding and the depth of color.
Okay. So what have we got here?
Here we have a beautiful 5-step Kohaku, which we can pull up and show you. And it's a extremely well-bred fish. It was bred by Watanabe outside of Hiroshima. And it's probably about 14 inches long. It's what we call a 5-step Kohaku, meaning this is the white and red fish that we're talking about.
Right.
And the pattern, there's 5 stripes of color down the back.
Right.
And that's not necessarily, 5 isn't really significant. It's more the balance and the intensity of the color.
Okay. Now, I was looking at that one. Almost looks, for me, a little orangey.
Right.
Now, is that an important part of Kohaku, that it's more of a red color?
Well, the redder the better.
Yeah. Okay.
When it comes to koi, and we actually have a doitsu Kohaku here, which we could take a look at, with extremely good red color.
Okay.
However, the pattern isn't that good. This is the one with just a patch of red on it. We'll pull that up and have a look at it.
Okay.
And it's not symmetrical, which is another thing that's really important, is the symmetry from above, as we had mentioned earlier.
Right. Okay. Now, there's a really nice one I picked out in there, which is sort of an orange with a black. What is that one?
Orange and black on white is called a Sanke, and there's a particularly good example in here. The orange is, very strong, very red colored, or red. The black patches are well defined and a deep black color. Okay. And we can pull that up and have a closer look at it as well.
Okay. Now, when we're looking at koi you mentioned that they're supposed to be looked at from above.
Right.
Is there a particular shape that we're looking for?
Yes, fin shape, symmetry, a nice torpedo body shape is important, and that's one of the things that judges look at when they're judging koi and koi shows, etc. Okay. So yes, body symmetry is very important. Not only the color of it, but also the shape and the symmetry of the fins, etc. Okay.
Now, I've seen koi that I guess I call them butterfly koi.
Right.
Now, do butterfly koi fall in the same classifications as the other koi?
Yes, they do, Gord. The breeding is not quite as developed. Okay. The Japanese are not real keen on butterfly.
Oh, are they? I really like them.
So the Americans have actually made strides to breed some wonderful butterfly koi, and they come in the same varieties. Yeah. We've got a poor example of a Kohaku here, and a couple excellent examples of a Shusui
Okay. What's a Shusui?
Shusui is with the blue back and the red belly, so it's the one with the long fins. We'll pull that up and have a closer look at it as well. Okay, so there's a mixture in this tank here of both butterfly and regular koi.
Excellent. Well, Gerald, thanks for giving us what I would say an introductory lesson. I would imagine the intricacies of koi and just what makes a good one and maybe not so good one, you know, goes on and on and on. It takes years to really perfect. But
yeah, even to identify them takes a few years, let alone to judge them. The koi judges are obviously been breeding koi for many years and showing them.
Yeah.
And it's an art.
Yeah.
Not just a science.
They really are great, and I know that people that have koi almost think of them as pets, not just fish, and they're a very beautiful pet.
They are a very beautiful pet, easy to care for. You know, don't make any noise, which is one nice thing. You don't have to clean up after them. And they are a very long-lived pet. If you provide them with a good home, they can live almost 100 years.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Gerald. I appreciate this.
Oh, you're welcome, Gord.